For the last decade, the World Forum for Ethics in Business has been a bastion of global initiatives, partnerships, impact and inspiration in the areas of ethics in business, good governance, transparency and shared value. It is the responsibility of the global leadership community to ask a few tough questions. How do we really measure national wealth? What is the contribution of people's well-being in measuring a country's progress? How do we evaluate the holistic performance of business institutions? Does profitable mean ethical and sustainable?
The world really needs today three things. Ethics, really how we live our lives. Not when we are being tracked, when we are being measured, or where we're being watched, but when no one is watching us. In our personal lives, in our public responsibilities. Ethics. Number two, empowerment. How we are empowering our youth, how we are empowering women in economically challenged regions of the world. And thirdly, education. What kind of education are we giving, how holistic it is, how multi-religious it is, how it is allowing our children and young students to really evaluate, looking at the world as a really a one big family.
We feel that we need to integrate values and ethics in society. Only then we can come to a stand where we can say that we are delivering a happy and prosperous society in the world.
The 11th edition of the International Leadership Symposium on Ethics in Business will look at complementary measures of performance of public and private institutions that encompass both economic success and social well-being.
What is happiness and how, indeed, again, the Office for Statistics can measure happiness worldwide with certain criteria. Is there a contradiction between creating wealth and creating happiness in a society? What are the basic needs which have to be solved first before we are in a situation like us today in this meeting room in the center of Europe to discuss how important growth is?
The beauty when you're not leading the industry, you don't have to ask yourself some questions because you have so-called benchmarks. You just look at what others are doing. The challenge starts as you, through your success, climb the ladder, that all of a sudden when you ask questions about what should we do, what do we consider the right thing to do, all of a sudden there are no longer benchmarks because you have become the one setting the benchmarks. If you have the chance that your customers, physicians across the world, trust your products such that you become one of the industry leader, you actually have no choice than to do the right thing.
So there are a number of examples of businesses that embody this. But think of this. What if we could multiply these examples of shared value manyfold? Think about it for a moment. Today in the world, we have 300 million private companies, which represent $30 trillion of private sector capital. What if even a fraction of them could embody this type of shared value, where they're generating economic profits, but also tackling societal problems of environment, of nutrition, and so on? We would certainly achieve the SDGs. And a very important goal of the WFEB is to scale up these types of practices, share and scale up.
I think if we as a business community want to have a sustainable and credible being also in the future, ethics must be an integral part of whatever we are doing. And in my presentation I also tried to present and explain a little bit how we incorporate our company values and our brand values in whatever we do when it comes to our training activities. Everything starts, of course, with the values of our company. And you can see here that here again you find the term passion. Passion in line with discipline and integrity and respect, which are the underlying and fundamental values that, of course, also we, as a global training organization, are having very close to heart.
Over the last few years, a wide global discussion has arisen on how we actually measure the performance of both governance and business institutions. We are witnessing new shared value paradigms of capitalism there are emerging trends to measure economic performance of countries not only through gross national income, but also through new measures of well-being.
Honesty is good. But if you teach students that greed is good, that means, okay, be greedy, you will get rich, disregarding by what means. So this means supposed to be honest, ethical, but if they are not, and it happens, it must be taken care by law, by proper regulation.
As a leader, I ask often myself, what is it worth for? Is it worth it to work so hard, to be concerned about their own healthy? And so I think it's a very important theme to think about. What is the balance?
A minute of silence was held to commemorate the victims of the Paris attacks on the 13th of November in 2015. The recipient of the 2015 WFEB Ethics in Business Award, which honours individuals and companies, was Honourable Mr. Jigme Yosser Tinley, the former Prime Minister of Bhutan.
If by the notion of wealth we mean the acquisition of and access to those conditions for well-being that make life secure, meaningful, fulfilling, and happy, then it would seem that we are becoming poorer. Where then is the basis to think we are rich? We urgently need to re-examine our evolving values, values that condition our mind and guide our actions and shape society, values that we have allowed the market to dictate and promote, values that are devoid of ethics.
When you are a leader, which this is supposed to target, you have power. And the way that you use that power is mainly ethical. Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to push the ethic beyond doing the right thing? Are you going to be adhering to great values? Are you going to transmit them? Are you going to scale happiness? Are you going to contribute? This is why it's so important.
It's ethics that can uphold human race. It can uphold the happiness in society. It's the ethics which can help a sustainable economy and an environment which can sustain our whole planet, life on this planet.
I think if we don't find a way to put everything together and connect with each other, learn about each other, learn to know each other, then this will not be a way for the world to survive in a good way. So it's very important to have these conferences and these forums to bring all these people together, and it's a very nice experience already just to say hello to each other, so it's exciting.
Life without ethics, life without a framework of values is meaningless. And today the world is experiencing great difficulties, and one of the main reasons is because of the erosion of ethics, value framework to guide people, human beings, in the conduct of their life.
I think there's hope. Even though we see the world as a very troubled place today, I think there's significant hope if good people get together, and if we grow this set of influencers, there's hope to have the world become a much, much happier place.